what's the style?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful week through the Enchanted Spreads. Now, the Enchanted Spreads are meant to hit in on the harsher points in life through fairy tales and folklore. But if you stick through them, you'll see that there's actually a lesson you can learn through them. Now, these are the grim versions of the story, so they are a little bit harsher to hear. This one, especially, trigger warning. Now, this one is called Verta Prado. Okay. Now, Verta Prado is a story about a mother who wishes for a child as white as snow, with red as his lips as red as an apple. And she prays and prays and prays for this child to come. But she also has premonitions and visions. And when she has a premonition this time, she realizes that she sees some horrible, horrible death for her children. So she asked her husband, "Hey, if there's anything that is to happen to me, please bury me under a juniper tree." And the husband says, "Well, of course." Well, the mother does become pregnant and she gives birth to a son, and she loves her son and she nurses her son. But unfortunately, she's only alive for 3 days. On the third day, she passed away, and the father is left to raise the boy alone. He remembers the words that she spoke to him and the promise that he made, so he takes her bones and buries them under the juniper tree. He then remarries, and when he remarries, he has another child, but this time it is a daughter. Now, the stepmother absolutely hated the fact that he had another child. Uh, she hated the boy just simply because he existed, not because he did anything wrong, but because she felt her daughter was the only pure child of the family. She hated the love that he had for the son because the love was linked to the mother who had passed away. So one day, her rage really fills up, and she says to her daughter, "Here, take this apple, and I want you to go away. I want you to just take a walk and enjoy the day. Don't come back until later on." So the daughter goes and she takes the apple and she walks away. The stepmother then takes another apple and invites the stepson to come over. But now, when the stepson comes over, she actually has a trap set up and the boy's head is cut off. She then takes a napkin and ties the head back onto the body. And when her daughter comes back, she says to her, "Ask your brother for an apple. And if he does not give it to you, I want you to whack him in his head." So the sister asked him for an apple, but of course, he was dead, so he couldn't give her the apple. And she asked and she asked and she asked. So eventually she whacks him on the head, much like the stepmother had told her to do. And his head goes rolling away. The daughter was horrified and terrified of what had just happened and filled with grief and remorse that she was the one who had did this. And she carried the burden. When the father came home, the stepmother had told him of what the sister had did, which was actually her actions, but she was covering herself up by blaming her daughter. And the father wept because he felt this was the tragedy that his wife had warned him prior. So he cries and cries, and the stepmother decides to sickly cook up the boy's body and feed it to the father. And the daughter has remorse for all of this and just finds it all to be too cruel. And she buries the bones under the juniper tree, the same juniper tree that his mother was buried at. And she cries and she tells a bird her story. The bird goes on, and the bird has seen all that has happened, that has transpired. He knows the wickedness of the stepmother. He knows the innocence of the daughter. He knows the grief of the father. And he knows the innocence of the boy. He knows the love of the mother. And he carries this tale and continues to sing it. and it turns an apple into a necklace that actually rains down on the father who goes out to visit the juniper tree. And the father hears the song of the bird, which tells him all that the stepmother had actually done. And he goes back, and this time the stepmother is punished because when the bird comes, of course, we have magic. Her head gets cut off, and they bury her. And when the bird sings, the boy's ashes are brought back up, and he is brought back in place of the stepmother in this story. Now, this story speaks of vindication, of the truth coming to light, of the wickedness of others, how jealousy can seep in, how people can pretend and portray and project blame. This also teaches us of finding a way to be compassionate even when we have made a mistake. It shows us that there may be people in our life who try to get us to take the blame for the things that they have done. But if we are innocent and our spirit is pure, and we go and we confess our own sins, whether it be what we thought it was or something different, you never know what may come of that. But justice will always be prevailed in a situation. Here, this family got to come back together in a pure way, in the innocent way. And the stepmother was exposed for all of her deceit, her lies, and her murderous ways. And she got all of the justice back that was due to her. So understand with this court as well comes karma. What goes around comes around. So if someone has done something awful and you've taken the blame for it, or you are not to blame fully for a situation, all will be revealed. So worry not. Keep your head up and understand that Spirit has your back in this situation. And also that this too shall pass. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Make sure you guys stay tuned for every week. We have a new Enchanted spread that comes out. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.
Now what's this now?